Now, if you thought Florida State getting left out of the college football playoffs was a scandal, just wait, because the same thing might just happen in the NFL at the end of the season. College Football Playoff Committee is comprised of 13 individuals voting on that. The NFL MVP is comprised of 50 voters. Now, if you follow football, then you follow the Cowboys, because you don't have a choice. They're on primetime every week. And I put all of fans in one of two categories. You're either a Cowboys fan and you love the Cowboys and you love Dak Prescott. Or if you're not a Cowboys fan, you probably can't stand the Cowboys, regardless of who your team is. AFC, NFC, doesn't matter. For the 50 voters, I got a message for you. Let's not create an unnecessary scandal at the end of this thing. And Dak Prescott, whether you like the Cowboys or not, should get some serious consideration for NFL MVP this year. Now let's break down a couple of throws to highlight why I feel this way. All right, now let's take a peek at this. This is, they're down 7-3, playing Seattle in maybe the sickest throwback uniforms I've seen since I've been paying attention. These things are dirty. But they're on the 15-yard line. First quarter, and getting a quarter shell here, really good safety. Diggs right here is just put in a bind. He's in a horizontal bind. This is the safety. It's a quarters look. Does he stay inside with number 2 or does he get width? And so Dak knows this. We're going to have someone on the inside and then we're going to wide depart, spray release, post route. Not a bang 8, but a big post over the top. But we're on the 15-yard line. This is a 10 from the 11 to the 20 concept in red zone. And so Dak's going to drop back here. This is play action. Really just play action. Just trying to get these guys to just freeze for a little bit. Okay. Again, it's 2nd and 8, so we can still run the ball here. But Diggs, you just watch him right here. He just squeezes a little bit and then realizes Dak's releasing the ball and tries to get back outside. But look at the ball placement right here. You might think like, oh, he made him jump. Yeah, we want these balls completed like 8 feet off the ground. We don't want to hit the dude right in the chest because DBs can be out of position and jump or dive. You got underneath coverage. So this isn't just a sick catch by CeeDee Lamb. This is, I think, great ball placement, putting it where even if a defender's collapsing and falling, he can always dive and get a hand on the ball, but they can't dive and get up and get a hand on the ball. And so great coverage recognition by Dak right here. Play action, gets his eyes on Diggs, confirms that he's taking that inside post. It's a double post or an 88 combination. And then CeeDee Lamb just maintains inside leverage, steps on his toes, Dak up and over the top, ball's ripped, back at the end zone in what ended up being a big win for the Cowboys. All right, same game, fourth quarter, down 35-30. Got to have a situation. There's only 4 minutes and change left in the game here. And Dak gets coverage recognition. This is cover 1 all the way. Okay, we've got people attaching, he's attaching, okay, to a receiver, and Dak is able to pump fake. Right here, you just watch him here, subtle, hands come apart, gathers really well. That just gets this corner to commit, and now he's got homeboy on the wheel route. Now you may look at this and go, oh man, he's throwing a back shoulder, it's out in front of him, right? So it's a great catch, but look at when Dak releases this ball. So his hands just came apart. So right now, he does not realize, doesn't know that 87 is not going to keep running and adjust late. He's got to throw it to a spot. And so this ball looks like it's left inside, but I don't know what else Dak could have done. He's got the look he wants. He sees 3 and 3. I see both of those guys' numbers on his jersey. I can read his whole name. That tells me this is man coverage. His back's going to be to my receiver. So I'm going to put this high and outside and rip it. It's in the red zone, so you can't layer it to the spot. You got to rip it. So Dak does just that. Rips it. Now the receiver ends up having a collision, getting held up for a second, and then reaches and snags it. But as far as Dak's concerned, this is the only option you got. Again, look at it from behind. Boom, right off this third step. Plants, gets that corner to commit. You might be able to argue you don't need to versus man, but he does. Gets reset. Extra little hop in his drop. And then puts this thing on a line. Again, great catch by his guy, but bad positioning by his guy to begin with, so he had to make a great catch. But again, second down 5, gotta have it at home. A good Seattle team, 35-30. That put him ahead. Now, this one's my favorite. This is a big NFC East rivalry game. Washington, they beat him pretty good. But let's look at this. This is going to be cover 2. So we're going to have this safety's got this half, this safety's got this half, but it's Tampa 2. So this Mike linebacker is going to run to numbers, meaning we've got 3 guys over here. We've got 1 guy over here, really 4 guys over there. So the Mike linebacker is always going to open to the side of the numbers where we have more numbers. And so if you look at this, I love this concept, and they got to be thinking the whole time, we're just trying to get the ball to this Mike versus Tampa 2. But this really just ends up being 4 verts. We're going to get a fade. We're going to get an inside release fade. They'll be further apart. My screen's kind of jacked. And then send somebody down the middle. And now we can just isolate number 57. And if you look at Dak, 3 and a hitch on time. This ball is ripped. Notice how this receiver, this is a great scheme, this receiver getting an inside release and then getting width. Watch what it does to this safety. Doesn't look like much. This safety's dropping back. Once he feels that guy get width, look at the angle he's running at. He's now getting width this way, okay? And that isolates the Mike linebacker. Now, if he puts too much air underneath it, if he's throwing here and he just go ahead and lollipops one down, that's when the safety coming off the hash, because he doesn't really have a threat over here, even though this guy's mailboxing. He's got his arm up like he's open. That's not the read, bro. We're not looking to you. This ball is just a seed right down the middle. Tight end, huge gain, coming out. You're on your own 4-yard line. I mean, this is quick game, screens, run the ball. So when you can get flip field position like this and remove the potential of my punter having to punt with his heels on the back end line, which is just has disaster written all over it. This is a seed right over 57's head. Couldn't have walked out there and handed the ball to 87 any better. And it's just always a little bit more risky. It's just always a little bit more chaotic when you're throwing a football from your own end zone. It just never feels really comfortable. And so, again, I keep seeing Dak Prescott. He's first in this, he's second in that, he's second in this, he's third in that, he's first in this. And I know Brock Purdy, after this game the other day, is inching it out. But the reality is Dak has a couple of big-time games coming up, starting with Philly, and an opportunity to really make a case for MVP. So those 50 voters at the end, sitting down, wrestling through it, regardless of what they're fans of, regardless of the teams that they're tired of hearing about, which is a lot of times the Cowboys, Dak Prescott's playing some pretty good ball right now, and an opportunity to continue to build a case for something he's never had before, NFL MVP.